one too.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMA Junkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is gonna be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yeah!
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communications stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMA Junkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes. Ari's co-host. To my left, it's the fight analyst, Dan Tom. Sitting to our far right, Brad Tavares, UFC middleweight. He'll be co-hosting the show with us today. What's up, bro?
What up, bro?
Danny Otto back east, handling all the producing duties. Good to have you back, bud.
Thank you. I mean, it's long overdue, I feel like.
Oh, it sounded like I feel like, and it seemed like you cut off mid-sentence.
No.
What'd you say? It's been long overdue?
Yeah.
And then you said what? Oh, I feel like. Okay, there you go. Yeah, it makes sense. I love the jacket.
Oh, I love the jacket, too. Hey,
late.
shout out to Jesse Katz.
Too late what?
Roots of Fight.
Why is it
Too late, right?
What is too late?
I already complimented you.
Oh, yeah, he already asked me.
So him and I are like
He literally walked in 30 seconds before me.
As soon as he walked in, I go, that's a dope-ass jacket.
Yeah, because when I was walking, I saw it when you were walking there, and right away I liked it, and I go, but I wonder what it is. So it's Roots of Fight, huh?
Look, as soon as you said that, I text my friend because I just was talking to him about this jacket. I just got to MMA Junkie Radio. First thing, nice jacket, bro.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty tight.
That's the Roots of Fight guys?
No, that was my friend Russell and Bryce. We grew up, watching and loving Allen Iverson, so.
When does he get that big check?
Who? Allen Iverson?
Yeah. His manager negotiated something where, like, Nike or someone, right, held on to, like, $30 million, and he couldn't touch it until he got to a certain age.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
So,
he went through a lot of money.
Yeah, he went broke, but now he has, like, $30 million that are waiting for him as soon as he turns a certain age, I think, or something like that. It's coming up.
Savvy move by the manager, huh? Or the agent or whatever?
That's smart. That sounds like my friend Devin. He always used to tell me, you should have stole my money and hid it from me. So, like, he likes to gamble. I'm like, dude, you're going to get fucking pissed. Oh, $30,000 just missing.
Shit.
All right. So, Brad will be here hanging out with us. We'll talk about his upcoming fight. He signed on to fight Krzysztof Jotko at UFC on Fox 29. It's April 14th in Glendale, Arizona, which is just outside of Phoenix. So, a short flight, 4-hour drive if he chooses to drive. Not a home game, but at least he's not doing the international thing.
Closer to home game. So, I'm happy about that. I still got some people from Hawaii that are going to make the trip. I think they're going to go from Hawaii to Vegas, then drive over, and then drive back after.
You driving or you flying?
What I think I'm going to do is fly there and drive back, like, as soon as I'm out of the building. Like, done fighting, done talking to the media.
You're not going to stick around for Poirier and Gaethje?
Nah, I watch it on my phone or something.
Oh, come on. What's the hurry to get back? Like, what's the difference between getting back at 2:02 and 2:32? Well, no, it's actually a couple hours, so maybe.
Miss my daughter.
Wow, that's sweet. You just fucked me up, man. I have no comeback for that. All right, yeah, that's a good enough reason for me. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's crazy, bro.
She's
like,
about 3 months, maybe?
3 months, yeah. She's going to be 4 months in a few weeks. But, yeah, like, I'll go I'll be gone at training all day, or not even all day, for a few hours, and I'm doing this, doing that, and like it's only a few hours, and I catch myself missing her. I mean, I'm gonna be gone what, Tuesday, and usually it's Tuesday to Sunday, and that's gonna be like so far the longest I've ever been away from her. So,
you know how him and I come up with crazy ideas?
Yeah.
Can I pitch something to you?
Pitch it.
Everybody comes to Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
but you rent one of those old school buses, and you have the Tavares train
with posters and right on the
lighting
windows.
and all that.
That actually would be fun, but like when it gets to fight week, I don't know. I try to just, I mean, when it's here, it's the best, because then you just kind of around the same, like you're in your own routine.
That's why you have a lieutenant, Bryce. Bryce is in charge of the bus. Everybody meets.
That
at
would be
Extreme
fun,
Couture,
though.
right? Like on a.
You
on
know
a
what?
Friday or Saturday
Save me
morning.
if they do it. Save me a seat.
I'm in.
I would do it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Like the Hickory Hoosiers, remember? And they have like,
Right.
a banner, just have it all Hawaiianed out. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, but I have to go out there on like a Tuesday.
Yeah, no,
so
you go on your own, but everybody else comes on the Tavares train.
Oh. Actually, my friend, one of my boys that's coming up, that's gonna drive out, he guaranteed would be down to like rent a big. I'm gonna ask him. That's actually kind of a cool idea, because that was my plan. He's coming up here, his wife and another friend of ours for sure, flying to Vegas, and then they're gonna make the drive over. And I told him, I was like, oh, if you guys do that, I'll drive back with you like right after the fight. So I'm saying like I want to bounce right after, but I'm sure he wants to watch the rest of the fight, so we might probably stay to the rest of the card. You know, I'm just being like.
I understand what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
That was one of the greatest answers I've ever gotten from someone that I thought I had, like, you know, I put you in check, and then you checkmated me. I thought, what the fuck? Like, stick around an hour or two. That's a great fight. You know, it's the main event.
Oh, that really is a
I'm not
good
saying,
fight.
like, Gaethje's your boy, but I've seen him at Extreme Couture.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just figured same management team, and then you
Yep.
gave me that answer, and I was like, you got me. Like, I just flipped over the chest.
No, I love Gaethje, and I really do. I like that fight. You know, I think Poirier has looked so good moving up to 155.
He has.
He really has. It was weird though. You know, I was thinking about him going up to 155, and I don't know what the weight cut is like for him, and I don't know if it's a big thing of just, you know, like not having to cut that extra 10 pounds makes him feel that much better and stronger, which I'm sure it does. I mean, you know,
and he was less susceptible to injuries.
Yeah.
Him and Masvidal gave us a similar reason as to why they do it. Masvidal said, I can make 155. He goes, but you got to tell me about 3 or 4 months ahead of time. This is the date and this is the opponent. He goes, I'm going to use the first month and a half to get down to the weight where I can then make a safe cut.
Right.
He goes, so if there's an opening, like let's say Masvidal won today. Today's what, February 22 or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say something opened up in a month. A big fight. He'd probably have to turn it down because his weight gets so much higher. He can't promise you he'll make the weight.
Yeah.
So, whereas at 70, he can.
make that weight.
So at 70, he was able to take some fights, and stay active. And so now parlay that into he feels more fluid, his timing, his rhythm when he's taking fights, like maybe 3 1 year, 2 the next, or 4 1 year and 1 the next, you know. But he's just having activity. Whereas because 55 was such a rough cut, he'd have to say, oh, I can't do that one. Well, then the matchmaker's not just sitting around waiting for George.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Dustin. They're like, well, we have to move on, you know. And now we're filling up this card and this card. And the next thing you know, 6, 7 months would go by. And, yeah, he'd get a decent matchup. But then again, you know, that fluidity, the rough weight cut, he's miserable. So 70 did it for him in that regard. But 55, like if you called him and said, hey, Habib fell out, you know, Tony needs someone, then he'll jump in the sauna if he has to and live in it for 2 days, whatever it takes to make weight. But it's got to be big.
Yeah.
Dustin told us the same thing. He goes, that's what those 10 pounds mean to him, you know what I mean? And they also stayed healthier as well. And yeah.
Yeah. No, I completely get it. I think it's the same for, like, Yancy. You know, like, I see him when he was fighting at 155. When he gets closer to the fight and he has to cut that weight, he looks miserable. And then when he's at 170, his energy is just how it normally is. Like, if you ever hang out with Yancy, he's always like a high-spirited guy, like good energy, pretty much always happy. You know, I can't ever recall him ever being upset, to my knowledge, and except when I seen him cut weight to like 55. And it's not even that he's like hates the world. It's just you can tell, like, you know, like his laugh is not the same. Like you'll crack a joke and it won't be like he'll just look at you like, fuck off. But it'll just kind of like his normal like big smile and laugh. It'll just more be like, huh.
Yeah.
And I think like I always told him too. I was like, you know, like I feel like that extra weight, like, you know, is hurting you. And I feel like he's, you know, done really well. I mean, granted he lost his last fight, but he's been doing so well since going up to 170.
I bet you he would fight at 165 though if that was created.
Yeah. So I was just talking about this with Evan
175. I wonder if some undersized 85ers would do 75 just because 70 is too tough.
Yeah.
But what were you gonna say?
I was talking to Evan yesterday at the
Dunham.
Yeah, at the Performance Institute, and I was telling him, I was like, I've been thinking about it, and I was like, I feel like 55 as far as like a fighter to where they walk around, that weight difference, whatever percentage, whatever, however you want to spin it. But I feel like the 55ers are the biggest fighters in the UFC or just out there, because every like high level 55er that I know will comfortably walk around at 185. Like they don't look fat and sloppy, and even higher than that. Like Kevin Lee, he gets higher than that. Like he almost gets to my size. That's like kind of not doing nothing, eating, whatever. But even Evan is like, outside of accepting a fight, he's like walking around at 80, 85 and looks, you know, like you can tell he's not as like shredded, but still looks the same. Like not like when you see somebody and you're like, damn, like this guy's been off, you know. And there's a lot of 55ers I know like that. I just seen what's his face there, he's fighting Chiesa. He's huge.
No, he was just here
tough.
the other day.
Yeah.
He's massive, man. He walked in, I was like, wow. I go, it almost looked like did we book a light heavyweight? You know, I mean, he was a big kid.
Khabib is the same way. Like, it's just a who's who of all these 55ers.
But what was your point, though? You say the 55ers are bigger, or
no?
Or they just get bigger out of competition?
So out of all the weight classes, I feel like the 55ers are like I don't know how I'm supposed to say this, like percentage per like to their weight that they fight at, they're the biggest. They walk around much heavier. You know what I mean?
What do you walk around at? I don't know if I've ever asked you that.
I'm like, right now I'm probably like 207, 208.
Really?
Yeah, and this is where this is where I walk around here.
One time I asked you if you'd ever go to 170, and you gave me an answer like, nope, and don't ever ask it again. But it was because, you know, we run into so many people, you kind of have an idea of like, well, could he not, or whatever. And I can name many 170s that have gotten over 207, and they've just made the cut. Your performance in the octagon has proven you don't need to go down, that's for sure. But I'll ask you again, now with the UFC PI, have you heard, and all the advances in nutrition, would you ever consider it, you think?
No, so I've sat down with like Clint, who's their nutritionist, and then like I work extensively with Bo, and he's their strength and conditioning guy. And I've kind of shown them as to like what I've been doing, and they've seen me since they've been there, 2 fights so far, and I've done, you know, luckily both have been here, so they've gotten to see me the whole fight week and see like exactly how the weight cut goes, what I'm cutting, how much I'm cutting, where I'm at, and how I recover. And you know, there's always things I feel like you can do better, but they're pretty like on board and agree with me on how, like, you know, like they think that what I'm doing is good and has been working for me. And like they didn't really have too much, like, whereas some guys, they'll look at it and probably be like, well, you should get lighter, or, you know, this, that, or whatever. They more so than trying to change up anything I've been doing is just offering like little, hey, maybe try this or try that. But the whole 170 thing, I feel like it would be too much of a, like, I would have to like really change my lifestyle. Like I could do it, I feel like. I would probably be like in that same boat with like Poirier and Masvidal.
Not laughing at jokes, not being yourself.
Yeah, and so one thing about me is I love my life. I love my lifestyle. I love fighting, and you know, like I look at it like my everyday schedule and how I get to live my life. I love it. A big part of that is I love eating, and
Whiskey, no.
Huh?
No, I was me in Spanish going, well, who doesn't?
Yeah. Oh, but I love food, you know, like I just really do. And
me too.
Overall, I don't really eat terribly.
I had fucking oatmeal for breakfast. I'm not criticizing my girlfriend. I asked for it, but you eat that and you just start looking forward to lunch because you feel like, oh man, that was just a loss. It was in the L column. You know, nothing delicious entered my body.
Yeah, but I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like I feel like at that point going to 170, I feel like I could do it, but I just feel like lifestyle it wouldn't be the same.
Would you do 75?
More miserable.
Would you try that one if it came around?
I think, you know what I mean? Like, I think making 85, I can make it comfortably, and that's about as far as I want to go. I don't feel like, I don't know. I feel like past 85, when people, I don't know why, exact reasons why people try to cut so much weight. I mean, obviously it's try to have the weight advantage or whatever, but I feel like...
Let me ask you one more question, and then I'll kind of move on, because I know you've kind of given us a firm answer. I felt like, you know, so I've seen you many times at Extreme, and you are a 185er, honestly. You know, there's bigger 185ers,
yep.
But now, what are you, like 9-4 in the UFC?
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Okay. I know at one point I think you were 8-4. I think you might be 9-4 or 10-4. So definitely, you know, you're a ranked fighter. You got a big fight coming up against another ranked fighter, you know. So you've had your hiccups, but you gotten past them. But the only one time where I thought, I don't know if manhandle's too aggressive. There's probably a better word, softer than that. But where I felt like, wow, the strength may have come to play, may have been the Romero fight.
Okay.
Other than that, I've never really felt like the strength was an issue.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
11-4.
11-4.
Oh, there you go. Sorry,
so,
my bad.
Bro, I don't even know, bro. Like I feel like when people ask me my record, I feel like that phony guy that is like when people are like, oh well, you do this, yeah. Oh well, what's your record? And I'm like, and they're like, you're full of shit. But I really don't know. Like after when I got into the UFC, I got into the UFC at what I think 4-0, and since then I honestly have lost track. Like it's not.
What's his overall?
You were 5-0 when you got to the UFC.
5-0 when I got to the UFC.
Yeah. Overall, you're 16-4.
Okay.
So
that's a good record,
Hawaii.
man.
Huh?
You're also from Hawaii.
Yeah, I'm from Hawaii. So what? We don't give a shit about records. But no, so in that fight, yeah, people ask me about that all the time. So I've never come across an 85er who I've felt like, damn, that guy is strong to where the point where like I've trained with like who's like a big like Robert Drysdale. He's a 205er and he is like strong. Like if he was at 85 and kept that same size and strength, then I would be like, okay, this is a strong 85er. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's many of like bigger, stronger guys out there, but I've never come across an 85er in training or a fight. And I'll get to the Romero thing in a second, but I've never come across an 85er who I felt like, wow, this guy is just like, I can't believe it. Like I've fought guys who I feel like, okay, he's strong, but never like stronger, you know, like that is just like, you know, bigger brother, like just mercy. Never that. Romero's thing, and it makes it in that fight, it does look like he's just like tossing me, but what it really was is that his technique is just so impeccable. It's just crazy. I had up to
power and technique.
Yeah,
you know?
no,
I mean, this is Olympic level.
Yes, he's super explosive. Don't get me wrong. He is a strong dude. He's super explosive. But I don't feel like he's like even in that fight, even when he was taking me down, I didn't feel like it was on sheer strength alone. You know what I mean? Like he was setting me up. Like he was setting up the setup to the takedown, and I'd never wrestled somebody like that. And one day, you know, maybe he and I will get to run it back, and I'll be more prepared for that. And then also in going into that fight, my mindset was completely, I was looking at him like, okay, here's this guy who's been wrestling all his life, and he found this new toy in MMA and knocking people out. And I was like, he's going to try, like he might, you know, shoot a takedown or whatever. But I was like, he's like so like, you see guys like that, especially wrestlers. Like you've seen it with like Koscheck and, even like Gray in the past, like once they start, like they're so big, strong, explosive, and they knock people out, you know, they're like, oh, I'm knock everybody out, forget about the wrestling. And honestly, in that fight, I thought that's exactly what happened. And I spoke to him after the fight, and he was like, yeah, you know, like I knew I had to take you down, so it's exactly what he did.
Going back real quick to the weight class thing, I know that here in Vegas, the Performance Institute, you're a regular. I think you've probably been one of the guys that's gone there the most.
Yep.
And you have a good relationship with the staff.
Yep.
Do conversations ever come up about weight classes, and what are, as professionals, what are their opinions? Like, do they feel like something should be done with weight classes as well?
We've never like delved that far into it, but there's definitely the conversation, like they feel like, okay, like somebody, if they're at this weight or weight class, I should say, they should probably not be, like, let's say an 85er should probably not be walking around at 230 pounds. You know, that's just not good. And since the Performance Institute has been set up or whatever, they're there at a lot of the fights, and now we do these like they weigh us, like right before like right when we get to the arena, they weigh us, and they do this hydration like testing thing. So they do it when you show up to fight week, they do it
on Tuesday.
Travel day. Yep, they do it, and then they do it again.
So they just weigh you, or there's this other test?
There's another thing where you're like holding like these handles, and it's like a hydration.
That's the 8% deal, right? Where they don't want you 8% over what you're gonna fight at. Okay.
Yeah. So even somebody like myself, I received, and I don't know if they probably just send it out to, okay, let's see what fighters went over 8%. Okay, let's send them all out this letter. I received a letter like, hey, you know, like you shouldn't be this and that, and you should be smaller, this and that, and I had already talked to them about, like, you know, like this is what I walk around at. I do it comfortably, and they seen me execute my weight cut impeccably. So it was just a thing, like, yeah, no, we're just sending that out, like almost like a formality. But there are people out there who they're like, okay, you're fighting 185 2 weeks out from your fight. You should not be 230, you know, 220, 230 pounds. That's kind of ridiculous. Which to me, that's ridiculous too. Like I would probably be scared shitless if I was that heavy 2-3 weeks out.
You know, when you go to a restaurant, sometimes they have that card that you fill out that says, what could we be doing better?
Yeah.
Everybody sings the praises of the Performance Institute, and they absolutely deserve it. But is there one thing you could write that you think maybe they could do better, or something they're missing that they could have?
Missing that they could have? A massage therapist.
Yeah?
I thought I've seen one there.
No, so they have
that was the janitor.
They have
I fell for it.
They have two physical therapists, Heather Linden and Bobby, and they're awesome. But you only get to schedule these little windows with them, and I'm not like, they do wonders, and it's amazing. Like you have these little injuries, they'll go in and treat it. But I mean, I'm just like hoping on a prayer they'll probably never do this. But I mean, as a fighter, you know, you get massages, or you should get massages. Especially in fight camp every so often, you know, once a week hopefully. But that would be crazy if they just had it there, like a bunch of people, like, oh, you want a massage? Just schedule it with them, completely free.
Yeah.
I wouldn't complain.
What do you think about dorms? Do you think more fighters would spend time out here if there were dorms on campus?
I feel like, they haven't said anything about this, but I feel like that would be like the next direction that they would have to go, you know, to like really service all the athletes. Because yeah, like unless you're here in Vegas, you don't really get to use it, you know, like as much as I do or any of the Vegas fighters. You might come on a trip but still not get the full like effects of everything that they have to offer. But if like there are guys that come out here, like Chiesa, he's out here for his fight camp and he'll get all the benefits, you know, of it. But I feel like that would be the next like step for them, is making like a dorm type thing.
Yeah, they already feed you.
Yeah.
Right? And there's showers, and so now it's just a comfortable place to rest.
Yeah, but now the only...
Oh, well, Dana did say the company's doing so well, we already want to expand. They've already talked about either purchasing more land or already adding to the building itself, and maybe that's what they had in mind, or maybe more executive offices or expanding the Performance Institute. I don't know.
Here's another thing, and then this is something that like I've even talked about with Bo. And he even said, like, yeah, that'd be so dope if we could have it. If we could have, like, like, you know how when you go to 24 Hour Fitness, they have, like, 3 lanes swimming pool? Just something like that built somehow somewhere. That would be cool. You know, not just running and whatever all the time. You can jump in, swim. You know, it's a little different cardio.
I do want to say one thing, and this isn't a hot take, but the Performance Institute got built up so much that when I finally toured it, I wasn't as impressed as I thought I was going to be. Now, here's why. They made it sound like if you've ever driven by the whole building, they almost made it sound like that whole thing was the Performance Institute.
No.
And it's not. Now, either Forrest gave us the fastest tour ever, or maybe there was just some things. Maybe I didn't stick my neck out, and there's nooks and crannies, you know, out there where we're like, oh, I get it. So if you walk down there, there's more of this. But as I looked at it, I go, okay, this is dope. This is nice. It's nicer than any MMA gym I've ever been in. But I don't know. I thought it was going to still be a little bit more. Now, I could see them growing into it.
Yeah.
So, again, not trying to be hurtful or whatever. But
as far as a facility goes, yeah, I've definitely seen bigger facilities with more equipment, this and that. They have some pretty crazy things though.
Yes,
there. like
amazing machines and rooms.
Whatever, I don't even know, a DECA scan thingy-majigger that.
But doesn't it seem like, let's say a bunch of athletes started flying in, wouldn't it get cramped in there?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I was expecting either more mat space, more cages. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
No. Yeah, it definitely would, and there would be times too. Like, so you got to schedule with them now. If they ever did build these dorms, which now that I think about it, I hope they don't, it would be super crowded. Yeah. Super
like us
crowded.
not hoping New York gets sanctioned, right? Because they took shows away, yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I'm sorry. That's what I was going to ask was, what about the other amenities that aren't so obvious? We're talking about gym space and that, but what about the other effect of guys coming in? Because I'll see when I'm looking at guys, you know, social media, I'm like, what's this guy doing training at Extreme Couture? Granted, I haven't been in because the surgery and crap, but I mean, I'm like seeing all these faces that I've never seen in the gym before. You're obviously there on a day-to-day basis. Are you seeing more of an influx, and is there a relation to that Performance Institute?
Yeah, you definitely do see them, and it's been a good thing. Yeah, if they build dorms and they're free, that'd be probably bad. There'd be too much people. Performance. It would be chaotic.
Unless they expand it, right?
Yeah,
expand the staff and the master.
Exactly. Because as it is now, it like there would be times where it's dead because, you know, there's what in the UFC, maybe, I don't know, 20 people that live out here, if that. But if there was like, I don't know, more than that, then yeah, it'll get too busy. But the thing that I do hype up about the Performance Institute is that, one, like the staff, like the knowledge that they all have, from like Duncan to Bo, Heather, Clint, like, you know, they're just super knowledgeable.
Yeah, I agree.
And there for you. And then on top of that, this is 100% completely free. And the reason why I love it too, like if it was where, you remember where the old office was, down by Palace Station, I probably would rarely be there. I'd probably be there once a week, if that. But the reason why this works so well and why I love it so much, it's literally 5 minutes from my house. It's 5 minutes from Extreme Couture. So it just works for me.
What, do you got, like a moped or something? You got a car?
Yeah.
Sahara ain't that far.
What?
Sahara ain't that far.
Yeah, but then you got to deal with, okay,
not like it was Nellis Air Base or nothing like that.
Yeah, but then there's all those traffic lights. It just, I don't know.
Remember Johnny used to say it was a pain in the ass?
He did. Johnny Hendricks lived in Southern Highlands. He used to train at Robert Drysdale. He used to say it takes 45 minutes to go. You're crazy, man.
Yeah, so.
But I guess in traffic it did.
No, so I used to train at Drysdale's all the time. And then in 2015, when I bought my house, I moved back. I used to live closer to where his gym was. His gym is on like Oki and Rainbow, or Sahara and Rainbow, in that area.
Yeah.
And I lived right up on Durango and Flamingo. So it was really close. It would only take me 5 to 10 minutes to get to his gym. And then I just jumped on the 215 to get to Couture, so it wasn't too bad. But then when I ended up moving down here, I live on 215 and Decatur now. I literally live 2 minutes away from Extreme Couture now.
You got your own pad, right?
Yeah.
No more the 5 guys from Hawaii and one sharing a house thing?
So all my boys still live in my house.
Okay. Oh, you own 2 houses?
No. So I own a house in Hawaii. I own a house out here. But my girlfriend also owns a house out here, and I live with her, and the boys live at my house.
Brad, you're doing well, man. Nice. With the real estate and everything.
But no, so
it's got a nice watch and the roots of fight.
Oh, this watch is very nice.
Check out the brain on Brad.
That is pretty dope.
No, I'm happy for you, man.
Watches. It was a gift, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But oh, so is the jacket. But no, so yeah, I used to go over to Drysdale's all the time. And then when I moved over here, I would only make it there twice a week and only in fight camp. And then, like, kind of after a while, I just was like, I'm getting, you know, like he's a phenomenal coach and training partner, but I was like, I'm getting the, you know, the work here. It's like, it's a pain in the ass to go all the way over there. And it ain't that far, but it is that far.
All right, we got to take a break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We have UFC middleweight Brad Tavares in the house. UFC middleweight and real estate mogul, it appears he's becoming. Also a recent father to a 3-month-old baby girl, and he has a fight coming up. It's booked for UFC on Fox 29 versus Krzysztof Jotko on April 14th in Glendale, Arizona. That fight card is headlined by Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier, so good things happening out there on Big Fox. When we come back, we're going to talk to Curtis Millender, one of the newest additions to the Ultimate Fighting Championships welterweight weight class. So stay close, and we'll be right back.
They can drink Mentos-flavored Diet Coke without their stomachs giving a single fuck. They are Gorgeous George and Goes. And this is MMA Junkie Radio.
Start your day with a SiriusXM. Enable the SiriusXM skill on your Amazon device. Then tell Alexa to set an alarm for your favorite channel. And you'll wake up to the sounds of SiriusXM. With SiriusXM and Alexa, you can get the latest sports news each morning without picking up your phone or turning on the TV. Brad Tavares, UFC middleweight, is our guest here, also co-hosting the entire episode. We struck out with Curtis Millander. We'll try and reroute him towards later in the show. Continuing on with Brad, though, he is fighting Krzysztof Jotko at UFC on Fox 29 on April 14th in Glendale, Arizona. So, you excited about the matchup, brother?
Yeah, I like it. You know, he's up there. He's in I don't know where ranked, but I know in the top 15. So, yeah, it's a fight I like. It's a top guy, I would say. And then of what's available and the guys that were available, I like it, and it's close to home. So.
And it's not the first time that, I mean, this is the first time that you've had to prep for him, but it's not the first time the gym has, right? Uriah Hall has faced him. Have you been able to sit down and talk to Uriah and maybe get a little scouting report?
Not so much like Uriah, but Eric has worked with Uriah extensively on that fight, was with him, cornered him, all of that. So, you know, and Eric is always in my corner, so, you know, I got that intel right there. But yeah, like with anybody, you know, we'll do some things and get some looks of what they look like, but it's always more so focused on what I'm trying to do and implementing my game plan out there.
How far can you go back when you guys are sitting down and looking at video and all that? How many fights would you say is normal to go back before you go, all right, he's definitely evolved since then, there's no business in even looking at these past fights? About 5 maybe?
Nah, not even. Me personally, I don't even like watch video too much. More so Eric and Ray. But I think the last 3 fights are good enough, because honestly, guys change fight to fight. And you don't want to get too dead set on any one thing or thinking, okay, I gotta expect this too much, and then come out, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna revamp it, and you don't know what that person is doing. Maybe they change their whole training camp, you know, striking style or striking coach, or maybe like they're just like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna try something different or whatever. So you don't want to like watch too much and be like, okay, he does this for sure all the time. Like, you want to know, like, okay, he's capable of doing, you know, these things, whatever. That's kind of his tendencies, but I don't know. I kind of like it to be fresh, like, you know, like, because it's not always gonna be what it's been in the past. Like how even his last fight, how he came out, that's who knows, he might come out, he's a southpaw, he might come out and be orthodox, but we'll see.
With 3 straight wins, where would you say, one more win being 4, how far do you think that title road is?
I guess it kind of depends how like the guys in front of me shake out, really.
But what's a number that you would say that's ridiculous? I shouldn't have had to win 8 times or 7 times. Like what's the sweet spot?
I don't even know. I haven't even thought ahead that far. But I don't know. Maybe I'm 3, win this. That'll be 4, 2, 3 more fights after that.
So around the 6, 7 range.
Depending on who those guys are. I mean, hey, maybe I get some short notice opportunity to fight a #1 contender, and right after that I should get a title shot, you know.
Wasn't there a fight not too long ago where you were actually willing to step in towards the end, right?
Yeah, so when Uriah got hurt, or, you know, experienced all the stuff he did, they called me, and I was like yeah, I'll fight Vitor. And honestly, I thought that this was when was that fight? Was that fight on a Sunday? Or was
I think, yeah.
It was, yeah. So they called me on Saturday, and I just finished working out, training, boxing, sparring. And I had missed calls from Ali, and I already knew. I was like, okay, this is going to be about that. So I called him back, and he was like, hey, would you step in to fight Vitor? And I was like, yeah. And on Thursday at sparring, I just jammed up my leg, like just bruised it. But I was like, whatever, I guess I just won't kick with that. I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I was thinking, I was like, okay, that's going to be, today is Saturday. They're already weighed in. damn, I'm gonna have to leave tonight in maybe a few hours to get there and fight. And then when he called me back, he was like, oh no, the fight will be next weekend on the Boston card. I was like, oh, perfect. So I put in for that, and then he didn't, or whatever. I don't know what happened. But, yeah, it didn't end up going through. So
in that process, what's the first thing you want to know? So when Ali says they're willing to do this, is the first thing you want to hear how much time? What are the questions that you have, and what's the order of them?
Obviously, the first thing, and especially that close, is that the weight thing. Like, how is that going to work? Are they expecting me to make 185 on a few hours' notice? Because that's just, I can't. Like, what does that look like? Or is it going to be a catch weight fight? Or is it going to be, I can weigh what I weigh? Or, so that would be my first question. Because if it feels like, oh yeah, you got to make 185 then in a few hours, then that would be completely out of question. It doesn't make any sense for me to ask anything past that.
But the following weekend, you could have made 185?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I could probably make 185 if they gave me, I don't know. I mean, when I cut to 185, granted, the week of the fight, my nutrition is a little different. I'm water loading. I cut from not too far off where I am now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
207.
Yeah, so I'll usually be 200, 202. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. Just kind of depends. Depends how my body's holding that water, whatever. But the water loading is important. But I feel like I could make I've never tried to do it without doing all those things and then just doing it. But I feel like I could do it, you know. And especially I know in a week I could do it for sure. Maybe a few days, 2-3 days, I could probably get to 185. But not in a couple hours. So that would be my first question. And then the next question would be like, I mean, I feel like it would even go without saying, like, you scratch their back and they'll scratch yours, you know. It's not like they're going to ask you to put your health on the line and to take this fight and not, you know, reward you somehow. But that would be the next question. Like,
how many times have they scratched your back?
I've never had to. In my past, I've only had to I've only taken one short notice fight that I've been offered. I've only actually been offered one short notice fight, and that was way back in the day against Aaron Simpson. And yeah, I think I don't know what I got after that or whatever, but yeah, that was like the only time.
So you've scratched theirs once, but they haven't scratched yours yet.
I don't know. I think they gave me like a fight I wanted after that, you know. Is a little more like, oh, you do this us our favor, and then
gotcha.
Anybody you want to fight? Okay, it makes sense. We can make that happen.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then that kind of makes sense for the 8% rule on a Tuesday. If you were in that 202 to range, you weren't too far out.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, I guess they were just highlighting that they would like you a few pounds lower.
Yeah, because even when I was working with Clint, we just did this hydration test. It was like a urine test that you do to like see where you're I forget all the scientific terms, but it basically shows you, okay, your weight now, how hydrated you are, like, and then it's a color graph of like where you should be. And then even on that graph, which I was like, I felt like I was light, but I was on like the higher end, like the more riskier end.
For a 185er, I guess 10% would be 18.5. I imagine 8% would be about a little less than 4 pounds. So they want you around 199.5, 199. So if you're 202, wasn't much.
Yeah.
Wasn't like a sanction like, hey, man, we're keeping an eye on you, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, if you're at the Performance Center and you ran into Dana and he goes, cool jacket. I like that watch. Let me have that. Scratch your back, you scratch mine, right, bud?
Yeah.
Like that. I'll just take it off and give it to him. Or?
I'd sell it to him.
Nah, he goes,
no,
nah,
I want it.
Just give it to me.
I don't want to buy it. I want it.
I'd be like, sorry, buddy, this is a gift. But if you
But you wouldn't think that somehow when he scratches, it might make up for the gift?
Think of all the toys he has that you could go, hey, I like that, Dana.
So if I knew that for sure, then
I
I'd
mean,
be
no,
like,
but
You don't.
just
That's
gotta-
the game.
that's the
You don't
game.
know.
no, then I
The
probably
next time I might just go, here's a hot dog to make up for that, you know.
Yeah, fuck that.
See, I would, man.
Uh-uh.
That dude's like halfway to being a billionaire.
He's a good tipper. I can tell you that.
Have you been tipped by him?
Yeah. I think I might share the story of. I think I
Oh,
saw
yeah,
the
at
PlayStation
Caesars?
that. Yeah.
Oh, no, at the Win? Or
Yeah,
Caesars?
it was at the Win. He had that Joe Rogan talks about on his podcast where they had the Stone Temple Pilots play that private show. I was working security at the time at Encore, and I traded shifts to get a door shift and stuff just because I knew it was gonna be like a bunch of UFC people. And at the end, they came out and he was just blasted, having a good time, and him and Joe Silva and all them, and escorted him to their room, and he was just, yeah, dude's a jovial tipper. But also Caesars, I was valet for a little bit too, and he would always give 100 spots or at least 20 spots to like each individual guy he'd come into contact with anytime at the Caesars valet. So he's always known as a good tipper in town.
Yeah, I've heard some stories about him, like, you know, just like fucking taking care of like just random people. I remember this was years ago. I remember one night he gave Junie Browning like 10 grand.
Oh, wow.
Give him 10 grand.
Look at Shongo. All right, I'll tell you a story. I think it was on our show, and if it isn't, then I fucked up.
Wait, is it the coach?
Yeah.
It was off the record.
It was off the record?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll just tell you during the commercial.
Okay.
And then I have another one, but I don't want to be, I think Rashad coined this phrase, or maybe it's been said before, but I hadn't heard it till Rashad. What's it called when you're somewhere, you wouldn't want the world to know you were there, and then someone else says, hey, I saw you at, I think he called it a spot blower, a spot checker, or a spot blocker.
Never heard of it.
Which one is it, Shango? Have you heard? Probably blower. Spot blower? Like, hey, man, why you got to put my business out as to where I saw you?
Right.
He said it about 2 years ago. I fucking died laughing. But so I don't want to be that guy. So I'll have two to tell you, Brad.
Okay.
He knows the one. I don't think Dan knows it, and I'll have two to tell Dan. Sorry, Junkie Nation, but it's a good one. I would want you guys to know it. And it's break time, so I'll tell you guys right now. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Stay close. We'll be right back. We're also still trying to get together with Curtis Millander. He didn't answer the first time, but he was anxious to be on the show. And we're hoping to hook up with him soon. Also in the second hour, we'll be talking to Derek Brunson, fellow middleweight in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Stay close and we'll be right back.
Charm,
Yeah, I got it ready.
compassion, common sense. These guys have none of that. You listen to them, so you're no better. I am awesome, though. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
Get the radio channel numbers for NBA, NHL, and college basketball games sent directly to your smart device. Go to SiriusXM.com/sportsnow. Then click Add to Calendar. You'll even get links to listen directly on the SiriusXM app. That same SiriusXM app houses the MMA Junkie Radio Show, commercial-free and in HD quality. All right, let's do the daily debate. We will be tackling a question that we put out on the Twitter poll on our big on the website's Twitter handle, @MMA Junkie. We did it earlier today, and after 2 hours, we have results. So, Dan, take it away.
Well, today's poll, you can follow us at MMA Junkie Radio on Twitter or at MMA Junkie. You can find the poll on both. And the question is, which opponent makes the most sense for Michael Bisping's retirement fight? Nick Diaz comes in at 38%, Rashad Evans at 27%, Luke Rockhold 32%,
Oh, that's
and
close.
Derek Brunson 3%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that was 2,595 votes. A lot of interaction today. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so what I like about Diaz and Evans is they're both kind of out of the way in terms of making a run at a title. Evans, in fact, is probably going to light heavyweight, so I imagine that fight would take place at light heavyweight. We were told as much by Evans himself when it was lukewarm about a month ago. And Diaz has fought at 85. He'll pretty much throw down with anyone. But again, they're kind of out of the way, and I think what Bisping wants is they say a payday, but he just fought Kelvin Gastelum in Shanghai on a UFC Fight Pass card, and London was going to be a Fight Pass card. So I don't understand how it's a payday. It's not like he's getting pay-per-view money, and he's no longer a champ. That's the confusing part. So I don't know if he just wants another high-profile name or what. Brunson, we'll ask him about it on today's show. He got turned down. I think, Brad, you asked him respectfully as well. He didn't want to fight you. And we're running out of names because Machida and Vitor are fighting each other. So I don't know who's out there that's left, but I would almost say circle back to Evans or Diaz. It just appears that that's what he wants. Goes.
My vote ended up going to Nick Diaz, if you could pull it off, because we don't really know what's going on.
At least they would pull him out of retirement, right?
But yeah, and definitely, if you have a name like Nick Diaz, it's going to be a pay-per-view, because that guy can sell it. Especially the heat that those two would generate, it would be incredible. I just don't see it happening. So actually, George, I would bypass Rashad, and I think Luke would be fun. Settle a trilogy.
Yes. I failed to mention the trilogy would be nice. It's just that Luke just took a vicious KO, and I think a lot of people would side with, I guess if down in later 2018 it's going to go down, I'm in. If they were talking about London or anytime soon, I would say Rockhold needs at least the 6 months off. What do you think, Brad?
I think that'd be dope if Diaz would come out of retirement to fight that. But yeah, I get it. It's his retirement fight. He wants to be picky. I'm sure more so than him, I'm sure his family, his friends, the people around him, want to see him go out in the right way. Knowing Bisping, that man is definitely not a pussy. You can tell he's a gritty fighter. He likes to fight, but he's just getting older. He's taking some damage, and I feel like he's probably listening to the people around him, that can see the bigger picture from the outside, and don't have his heart and ego in the way. So, I mean, I kind of get it why he's being so picky,
Which name did you like for Bisping out of the ones we...
Diaz.
Dan Tom?
Diaz is hard to argue. He is number one, but I will go with the listener's number two choice in Luke Rockhold. I'm on board with the trilogy. Luke Rockhold's more active than Diaz, but arguably just as much of a no man's land as far as what's next for him, so I wouldn't mind seeing it.
There you go, folks. That's our daily debate for today, brought to you by the MMA Junkie Radio team. All right, so Brad, we're on our way out here.
Right.
The first hour is almost up, so give us a few minutes. We will be right back. Got to pay some bills. We got Brad Tavares in the house, and I definitely do want to ask Brad about that fight that he proposed to Bisping. It wound up being Krzysztof Jotko, but got a few more questions here for him in regards to that. Curtis Millander will join us as well in the second hour, as will Derek Brunson. It's MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM Rush 93. Stay close, and we'll be right back.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions had an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly. And I hope that you are having the time.
All right, here we go. It's the second hour of the MMA Junkie Radio Show as we wait for Curtis Millander to call in. Wanted to follow up with Brad about something that happened about a month ago. You were respectfully calling out Bisping. It's not like you
Literally used
said
the word
anything
respectfully.
Yeah, it's not like you were bomb jokes or nothing. And did you ever get a reply or did anything ever come of it? Nothing.
Not a reply from him on Twitter.
Or on the show?
No,
UFC Tonight, because he replied to Brunson, but it kind of came out of him.
Nah, yeah, he didn't reply to me. It just UFC said he said no to it, so it is what it is.
I wonder who he wants. He won't fight Vitor ever again, I thought he said. Then he warmed up to it recently. He turned down Evans, but it may be because it was too soon to Shanghai. Rockhold and Romero were already duking it out. That fight hadn't happened yet. He's not going to get Whitaker. GSP's semi-retired. I don't know that there's that many names left or what it is, who it is, and what it is he wants. I think maybe, I don't know.
Maybe that's the strategy. Just keep those wheels turning. Start creating
maybe like a Diaz brother, something like that.
Maybe, yeah.
Woodley's been calling out the Diaz brothers.
So is that even is Nick Diaz even like really an option, or that's just like you guys is like
If you put a camera in front of Diaz, he'll go, they ain't calling me. I want to fight, but they ain't calling me, But basically, he's only going to accept like one or two names.
Yeah.
Same appears to be for Nate. I think they realize I can just wait another 6 months or another year and get the right matchup and make $3 million. Versus fighting now for $1 million or $2 million, $1 million, or $1 million and $500,000, whatever. So I think they've done the economics, and that's why there's only a few names they'll take it. But you're still further removed from your last fight, and you can just never get those years back. Now, granted, I'm not the one that steps in the cage. I'm not the one that does the camp. I don't know, but I've seen others. I'll give you an example. Dan, you've done a lot of research on this. Is Jeremy Stevens about 10-9 in the UFC or something like that?
Oh, it's longer than that. I got it.
No, just in the UFC.
Just in the UFC, I got it right here. Actually, give me one second. The next page.
So I'll tell you what I'm getting at. For Jeremy, because I handle a lot of the rankings for USA Today Sports, and he basically fell out. All right, he fell out. We go 15 deep, and then honorable mention. He fell out completely. Now look at the guy. Now he's throwing leg kicks, to the calf, to the thighs. He's not just got his hands going. He's got a little bit of swag. I remember he was the target for Connor's who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? And now all of a sudden I think he's back-to-back headliners for Big Fox, and people are getting excited about it. He's been on Rogan. He turned things around. You know how? By just fighting and winning. You got to win too, Right. But fighting, he took control of his own career rather than waiting for some individual dance partner or time off. Now again, I'm not the one that's to do the camp, and but now look at the position he's in, and he's making pretty good money, and now he's all of a sudden he's on this type of run where also when you're fighting frequently, I think the UFC digs it. They're getting ready to scratch his back, whether it's contract time or whether it's a future opponent for Holloway down the road. Maybe, I don't know. He may be in the mix. I really like the way he took control of his own career, and Cerrone did that for a while. He kind of backed off the frequency of fights, but now he built up so much that he's got a ton of equity. Whatever Cerrone wants to do, he's good,
14 and 13 in the UFC.
14 and 13 in the UFC.
It's insane to think about.
27, damn.
27 fights, but like I said, MMA fans will come at you hard on social media. There's dicks out there, no doubt. All right, haha, you got knocked the fuck out. That's what you get for talking shit. Blah 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 blah. But then you come back a week, or not a week, but 6 months later, knock someone out. It's usually that same asshole will go, bro, that was sweet, you know. And now put 2 or 3 of those together, or some wins or whatever, and they're like, man, I'm a fan of that guy or whatever. He hit me back on Twitter. You know, fans are very fickle, but they can be right back in there. You just have to be strong here during the bad times, and then you have to be clicking here, you know, during the good times, and everything can change, just like that.
Yeah. Or just say fuck you to the ones that want to talk shit and hate, and just thank you to the ones that just ride, you know. But the big thing I think to me about Jeremy Stephens is he said it in his post-fight interview. He didn't say it about himself. He said it about Melendez when he fought Melendez, where he, you know, he's like, oh, no disrespect, but I feel like Melendez just plateaued, like he just didn't evolve. And that right there showed me that, okay, so Stephens looked at his game and said, hey, how can I evolve? And he shows it, because when he first came out, he was just this gritty, I'm going to throw bombs, I'm going to throw as hard as I can, and hopefully I put one on your chin, and if I do, night-night. And now, you know, he's mixing it up, like you said, he's mixing up kicks and with his hands, and he just looks like a complete fighter. And he's showing what he's truly capable of. So
I love seeing those guys too with the late career like resurgences or renaissance too. Like Robbie Lawler is a guy, and Jeremy Stephens I feel like are two of the same, because Jeremy Stephens this May is going to make 11 years. He debuted in May 2007 against Din Thomas. I mean, this is insane. You know how many different you go a guy like that. And you look at his record, how many generations of fighters, you know, he came through. Kind of back to George's point, and you can be right back into the fan lexicon with a couple good performances.
Dude, Robbie Lawler, that's crazy. Because I remember watching.
Same thing. That's a great example.
Yeah, I remember when he got knocked out from Nick Diaz. I remember that way back when, and that was like nobody really knew who Nick Diaz was. And you know, Robbie Lawler kind of had more of a name because he was with what were they called? Yeah, Miletich and Matt Hughes and them. So
then he went to Icon. He went to Strikeforce. He went to Elite XC. You know, grabbed a couple belts. Fight. You know, and
he fought in Pride.
That's right. He need Joey Villaseñor like in 30 seconds, and he was doing that middleweight. But then he knew that when he came back, he goes, all right, time to diet again, focus.
Yep.
And he went on to be a world champ. Now Woodley is a world champ, but I feel like his name is hurting a little bit out there. A lot of people are hating on him. I think he can still turn it around. And I'm glad that he's kind of getting beyond the beef with Dana and whatever. Yeah. But there's a lot of people that can just get in that cycle. And some people need to be liked. You know, they like to be liked. Mm-hmm. Not everyone can just block people or whatever. But you ever see the movie Gladiator? Mm-hmm. You can win over the crowd. You know. All right, we're ready to go. All right, Curtis Millender joins us now on MMA Junkie Radio. We finally tracked him down. He's somewhere in the mean streets of Southern California, where we're from, goes right. Yep. He joins us now here on the hotline. What's up, Curtis? How you doing?
I'm great, sir. How you doing?
Great, man. Welcome back to MMA Junkie Radio. You're on with George, Goes, and Dan, and we also have UFC middleweight Brad Tavares here with us. Congratulations on an epic win this past Sunday in Austin over Thiago Alves, man. They didn't give you an easy matchup to start things off in your UFC career.
No, they didn't, but you know, like I always say, I work hard to make everything look easy. So I work my butt off so I can go out there and make it look easy.
How did that feel, by the way? In 1 month, you were able to win at LFA in Orange County, California, and then you go to the next step, and I'm sure there was a lot of people out there that didn't feel like you were ready. You know, whether it be the media or fans, and in 30 days you were able to prove them wrong. You know, I mean, and it seemed like your confidence just grew so much so that you had an epic post-fight interview, you know, basically calling out all of the 170ers out there. So I love that your name grew, your confidence grew, your swagger grew. It was amazing.
Yeah, you know, I've always said, you know, I feel like I probably should have been in the UFC for about at least a year now, ready to be in the UFC and fight and compete for about a year now. And, you know, they gave me the perfect opportunity to show, you know, that I was ready by fighting Thiago. So I wasn't going to let that opportunity go to waste.
Goes, what do you have for Curtis Millender?
You know,
I'm sorry, Curtis, I cut you off mid-answer. Sorry about that. What were you saying? Finish your thought.
I was saying, you know, it's like I didn't want that opportunity to go to waste, so I was going to do everything in my power to, you know, to seize it.
Curtis, when you went backstage, whose praise did you appreciate the most? Did you get a chance to talk to the matchmaker at all, Dana, anybody about the fight? And can you maybe share what they had to say?
I didn't talk to. I think that probably the most important person that I talked to after was Jimmy Smith, just to see like how excited he was about like this new Curtis. You know, he seen me in Bellator, and I told him during the meetings, you know, like this wasn't the same Curtis from Bellator. You know, I watched the Fernando Gonzalez fight still just to hear Jimmy's commentating, because I always joke around and say he made me sound like a punk in there with Bellator, but no, it wasn't the case. And even after the fight, if he watched the fight right after, I walked right up to him and told him, I told you so.
And what did he tell you though? What did Jimmy tell you?
He said he understands now. He sees that this is a whole new Curtis.
Did you get a chance to talk to Thiago at all?
Just very briefly, right after the fight, he just told me that I was a beast and, you know, welcome to the UFC. Nothing too much.
You know, you've done this before in your career where you've had 4 fights in 1 year, and this fight came relatively early in the year. Could you see yourself keeping a pace like that? How many fights do you think you can get done in 2018?
2 more would be perfect. I want to kind of take some time, and I want to wait to fight to maybe about June or July. If something comes up before then, I'll be glad to take it. But you know, I pretty much been on a diet since December, so I want to enjoy all the meats and French fries and burgers that I couldn't really have for a minute.
What's your spot in Orange County, man? That's where we're from.
Oh yeah, well, the Burger Parlor, Mocha Salsa, man. How long you got?
a lot of time.
When it comes to food, you got the show.
Where's the Burger Parlor?
The Burger Parlor is in downtown Fullerton.
The Burger Parlor.
It's in downtown Fullerton. Yeah, right on Harbor and Wilshire.
All right.
And then JP23, best barbecue in Fullerton, best barbecue in SoCal. It's amazing.
All right. Dan, Tom, what do you have for Curtis Millender?
Man, Curtis, it was only, like they said, only a month roughly between performances, but I dare say you almost look better. I dare say it almost was your best performance in a UFC debut, step up in competition. I mean, even guys like Daniel Cormier, world-class Olympic athletes, said they could not escape the octagon jitters. Was there any sense of this, Curtis, and did you feel that you improved just between those 2 fights?
Definitely, skill-wise, everything improved. Just the situation. Before you know, fighting in the UFC, I just the fight week alone, the calmness and the confidence, it didn't even come from me being ready. I knew I was ready, but I don't remember the last time I fought where I knew once I paid my rent or whatever I had to pay, I was going to have money. Like, every time I fight, like, everything goes to my bills, everything goes to money, and I'm back to being broke and waiting for a fight again. I knew for the first time that wasn't going to happen, so a lot of the confidence and the calmness was from that.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it.
Well, that's awesome, man. And again, you know, kind of touching back on something you said when watching tape on you, and I, you know, had to watch some tape on Fernando recently. So I came across that fight you just referenced twice, and not just Jimmy Smith. I will say, kind of cutting Jimmy some slack. I think I believe Wheelock might have been on that call, but I believe, you know, he was kind of coloring some things in too, and not in a bad way. You know, it's their job, and you obviously have a good sense about it. But I did hear that, and I couldn't help but think, man, if I was Curtis, I gotta imagine that would motivate me, and to see you come and kind of come full circle, that is crazy, man. So I just got to say, I do sentiment and hear what you're saying there about that.
Thank you very much.
So this 50 G's, that certainly will also help towards the bills and chilling out a little bit till summer. Do you have any specific plans, like some fun money? Is any of that fun money, or is it all going into the bank?
guess what I'm driving right now?
Oh shit!
I bought a car yesterday.
All right, give us each a guess. All right, give us each a guess. All right. All right. Go ahead, Dan. There's 4 of us here, and we're each gonna guess what you're driving. So you got a new ride, right? Is basically what you're saying. All right. Go ahead, Dan. What do you think is that?
All right. I want to say off the top of my head, I may be wrong here, and you can correct me after, but I want to say Curtis has some kids, so I want to say he's going to do something nice, but it's probably going to be 4 doors, probably not going to be something 2 doors. I don't think it's going to be something too crazy, too big. California got some crazy gas prices, so I'm going to go say a nice Lexus 4-door sedan.
All right. I'm going to go with you're spot on, and the reason I know about the kids too is because when I was in Orange County, his kids were sitting close to where I was when in the middle of his fight, so I got to meet his kids. And yes, I'm going a sports utility. Escalade is my guess. How about you guys?
I think he already has the kid car, so now he's going to use this as an excuse to get a him car. He's in a Dodge Challenger.
All right. How about you, Brad? What do you think he's driving?
I don't know. I was gonna say Mustang, but he's kind of tall, so maybe a Camaro.
Camaro. All right. Is anybody spot on or close, Curtis?
Nobody's spot on. Somebody's close. I got the Charger.
Oh wow! Nice.
Right. Well, there you go.
What did you say?
Isn't that what I said?
Yeah.
No, you said Challenger.
I said Challenger.
I said Challenger.
You want the more low percentage choice.
That's close enough. We'll give that.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's really
good. It was perfect. I can fit my boys in it. I had a little situation. The reason why I took the Nick Barnes fight is because I had my car at the time had got impounded. I was like, I couldn't afford to pay my tickets off and stuff, so I was driving without a license. It got impounded and had all my equipment. So literally for two camps, I didn't even have equipment. Even for this camp, I didn't have all my equipment, that I need. And so I said, as soon as I fight, the first thing I'm getting is a car. And I paid my rent for a few months. I didn't pay off the car, but they're definitely smart and made a good decision. And then the Charger, my boys, they haven't even seen it yet. So when they see it, they're gonna go crazy.
All right. We also have, like I said earlier, UFC middleweight Brad Tavares here with us. He's got a question for you, Brad. What do you have for Curtis Millender?
It's not a question, bro. I just wanted to tell you, congrats on your fight. No disrespect to you. I'm kind of a spaz when it comes to MMA. I had no clue who you were. In all honesty, I was like, oh, look, they brought in somebody, to get Thiago back on the right track. But you proved me and the whole world wrong. Nasty finish. I don't think Thiago's ever been finished like that.
Yeah, that was pretty vicious.
Maybe not even finished.
12 years you have to go back for any kind of finish for the guy.
And dude, that was nasty. So just congrats to you, man, and happy for you on the bonus and that you're able to get a new car for your family and stuff. So just congrats, man. Good luck in everything else.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
And Curtis, oh yeah, go ahead, finish, brother.
Oh no, we're good.
Okay. And so what is it, like the pedal to the metal? Are you a speeding ticket guy, or you just like to run in and not park far, so you just kind of park on the curb? Are they parking tickets? Come on, open up with us.
I would get I didn't really even have a car, so I would get fixing tickets in my friend's car. I remember one of the main tickets where my license got suspended was it was no seatbelt. I was in the passenger seat, and this was in 2008, right after I got my license. And it was we were listening to all the hype music from the band, and we were dancing in the car, and I didn't have my seatbelt on, and I just never went to court for it. And they suspended my license, and then I got pulled over 2 or 3 times without a license, and just made the situation worse. And when I finally got pulled over, and the warrant I had was for no front license plate. So it actually took me to jail that day. I was only there for 6 or 7. Yeah, I was there for like 10 hours maybe. And, I got out and took care of everything. I was like, oh, man, I got to stop. I got to be more responsible. So got out and took care of everything I needed to take care of. Because that 10 hours, I was like, man, how do you guys do 30 days? I can't do 10 hours, I was scared. So,
when you were in that holding cell, please tell me you came up with a different story, right? When everybody goes, "Hey, what are you in for?"
oh no, no,
Tell them
I
license plate.
I was in the holding cell, but I was still the hardest person in the holding cell. So I didn't see nobody that was gonna be able to do it with me in the holding cell. So
How was the negotiation with the car salesman?
it was good. It went from he dropped it down a lot. So I did pretty well for myself.
What would you have done if he told you, "Look, I have two
I didn't let him
cars"?
bamboozle me.
He tells you, car salesman says, "I have two cars. They're identical. They're both brand new. One of them, though, I'm not going to charge you that first payment. But in the back seat, you see two used condoms, and a whole thing of In-N-Out. We don't know what happened in that car, but you don't have to make that first payment if you take that car. Would you take it?"
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's only some condoms. Take it to the car wash. They can clean it out.
Dude, I don't know.
Have you never left a condom in the back seat, though?
Mine, though, not somebody else's.
Coney Island whitefish.
Curtis, you basically said anybody in the welterweight, come get it. But is there a specific name you would like?
Now that I sat down and thought about it, I would like to beat up Mike Perry.
Mike Perry, okay.
Also Max Griffin.
So the winner of that
the
fight?
winner of that or the loser doesn't even matter. I'm pretty sure Mike Perry, if he gets that win, he deserves to get some higher ranking competition. I know that's what he wants. He's been grinding for a minute, but I'll still beat him up either way.
All right, my man. Enjoy the car. Have fun with the kids.
There's a lot of fights I like now, so.
No, those are great names. That's the key right there. You start lining yourself up, giving the matchmakers an idea of who you want, letting the fans rally for you on social media a little bit. Next thing you know, you get what you want, So it's good to throw it out there. Congrats again on the win, and great checking in with you. Enjoy your time off. You deserve it. That was two big fights back to back, and you came through. So, again, congrats, and thanks for the time here on MMA Junkie Radio.
Thank you very much. So you guys have a great day.
All right, you too.
Aloha.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, hopefully we'll be talking to Derek Brunson. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93 with UFC middleweight Brad Tavares in house.
Curtis Lifestyle
Hey,
Bender
idiot.
Millender.
Yeah, you. Can you please tap that rather large fellow on the shoulder and tell him it's time for more MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes? Thank you.
It's the Impossible Springsteen ticket, and we're giving them away to SiriusXM subscribers. SiriusXM's E Street Radio is filling all the seats for the March 14th performance of Springsteen on Broadway. Grand prize winners will get airfare, hotel, and tickets to this exclusive show. For official rules and to enter, go to SiriusXM.com/Springsteen. No additional purchase is necessary. All right, so we're actually being co-hosted today by UFC middleweight Brad Tavares, and now we're joined by another UFC middleweight. His name is Derek Brunson. He's on the hotline. What's up, Derek? How you doing, my man?
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. Thanks for joining us again here on MMA Junkie Radio. So it's myself, Goes, Dan, and like I mentioned, UFC middleweight Brad Tavares is also chilling here with us. Derek, I guess lately you've been in the news because you were trying to get that fight with Bisping, and he dismissed it. But he dismissed it kind of rudely, you know, talking about bigger fish to fry. Has there been prior beef between you guys, or did that catch you off guard?
Nah, it's no beef. I don't have any beef. It's work to me. It's competition to me. It's kind of funny that he said that bigger fish, bigger than me means somebody ranked above both of us. And I mean, he don't want to fight any of those guys, or he fought those guys. So I was a little caught off guard by that comment. I didn't know what he meant. Maybe he meant some guy that's not ranked. Maybe Dan Henderson. They're gonna do another fight or something.
All right. Well, you know, I like your take on it. There is no beef. It is business, and I've always said the same thing. I think trash talk can build up a fight, and it's good. You know, fighters get paid, fans and media get more interest, and then sometimes it does wind up being, you know, genuine heat, to borrow a pro wrestling term. Other times, I think both fighters are on the same wavelength and understand that they're just trying to build something together. Has that always been your attitude, or is that just something that's changed now that you're a professional mixed martial artist?
Always been my attitude, you know. I'm just gonna keep it real, you know. I'm gonna talk about what's going on, and it makes perfect sense, you know. If you have a guy ranked ahead of me, you know, he's 6, I'm 7. I mean, come on, that's obvious. People always talk about a guy retiring or saying they're gonna retire. Look at Matt Brown. Matt Brown said he was retiring. Okay, Matt Brown went out there, got a good opponent for him, knocked him out vicious, got with a nice elbow, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, I want to fight again," and he's asking for a higher ranked, you know, guy. You know, so everybody always try to leverage and play that, and it's funny, the fans always buy into the bull crap. You know, if a guy is going to retire. Like, you know, I mean, this ain't a babysitting contest. This is a UFC. This is fighting. This is a unforgivable sport. You know, you got to go out here. It's the toughest sport in the world, like, period. You know, so you got to go out here and earn everything. And if you have an opportunity, Michael Bisping isn't an easy fight. You know, he's a guy who's a former UFC champion. He got some huge wins, but a win over him does a lot for me, just like a win, you know, vice versa, opposed to him fighting somebody who has no name value. It does nothing for him. So I think we had a good venture, and it would have made a good fight.
Derek, to be clear, when did you want to fight him? If he were to have accepted it, it wasn't in time for London, which is just a few weeks away. Was there a particular card you were angling for?
It didn't matter. I mean, I could have fought him on any card. You know, I fought all across the world. I fought everybody. You know, I just my mentality. I go out there and fight. Sometimes I get a little crazy in my fights, and then I'm sitting at home pissed off because I did stupid stuff, and I'm like, I know I'm way better than that. And sometimes, you know, how good you are isn't always on display, you know, but you always have another fight to make people realize.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess another reason I ask is, you know, when a fighter is on the receiving end of a KO or TKO stoppage, fans and media are starting to side err on the side of caution, meaning, hey, maybe Derek should take a few months off before coming back and fighting, you know, and some of it do it just because they feel like that's the political thing to say, but a lot of people really do care about the athletes, and you know, successive KOs is not a good thing. Not to say that that's what you're headed for if you fight Bisping, but it's just it's a possibility. Like you said, he's a skilled fighter. So that's why I was asking if you planned on taking some time off, if this was just too big of a fight to pass up, like where it stood in regards to how you wanted to tackle the rest of your schedule for 2018.
I mean, I'm always down to fight, and I'm sure if we accepted a fight, we would get a good timetable, you know. So, I mean, I'm always training, always trying to get better, always improving on my mistakes, and anytime would work for me, you know. Anytime would work for me, just to get back in there and get that sour taste out my mouth.
Derek Brunson's our guest here on MMA Junkie Radio. Goes, what do you have for Derek Brunson?
Derek, your only losses have come to really high-level athletes in your division. When you do go back, you said you think about the mistakes. Like, is there one common mistake that you could say might have happened in all of them?
Well, I mean, fuck it. We got a lot of cheaters. You know, I ain't gonna make excuses, but I mean, you guys can. It's up to you guys to glorify the fighters that are, you know, looking good or on a hot streak, but nobody really has respect for those fighters who grind. Like, I'm 9-4 in the UFC, and like you said, I'm only lost to the top guys. And Yoel fight, I was beating the hell out of the guy. You know, he caught me with 1 minute and 30 seconds left, but the guy popped for PEDs. Anderson, people didn't think he won that fight. He popped for PEDs. I mean, it is what it is. This isn't like baseball or other sports where football, where somebody popped for PEDs, they're gonna really get. They're gonna get in trouble. You know, they're gonna get scorned by the fans. They're gonna lose positioning. But MMA, you can kind of play the rules. You can make excuses. But I'm not the guy that gonna be out here making a whole bunch of excuses. It's just what it is. So when I'm getting back to the gym, I'm like, okay, well, I need to get better at that. So I'm not getting caught by these steroid punches, or I need to move my head more, or do this more, or train more in this area. That's more of my aspect. But I mean, you can't neglect the fact that, you know, look at the guys in baseball. That stuff, it makes you superhuman. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm just keep doing me and just keep getting better.
You know, Derek, if anybody's proven they can bounce back from losses, and not just bounce back, but again, bounce back against top competition, it's yourself. I think you've proven that, and it sounds like, you know, you've got your sights dialed in. But let me ask you about your last fight. Again, you're not one to make excuses or anything like that, but just objectively, now that some time's passed, can you point to anything in particular as far as what you felt might have went wrong in the rematch with Jacare Souza?
I just wasn't as sharp as I needed to be. I was sick the whole camp. I almost pulled out of the fight, honestly. We talked to the UFC and we made some things work. I went to the doctor and, you know, kind of nursed myself back to health, which that last couple weeks, I don't like to spend that nursing myself back to health, drinking vitamin C, like mucus. You know, I had a little flu bug. So I wasn't able to travel like I normally do to go train. The snow, it was just a whole bunch of just weird, just crap that I had to overcome. And like I said, I pretty much pulled for the fight. We just was able to nurse back to health and able to compete in the fight. But I just wasn't as sharp as I normally am, you know. I put some punches on Jacare early. He was moving back, and I just backed off because I'm like, okay, I need to be a better version of myself where I'm not just going out here swarming people, you know, trying to stop the forward pressure so much. And then I went back. He threw that kick, and I blocked it like I had a boxing glove on, and it came over the top. And instantly, I was like, fuck, that was just so fucking stupid. But I just know just my preparation up until the end of the camp, I wasn't as sharp as I need to be. If I would have put my hands up a little higher, we still would have been in the fight. And I knew on the feet he couldn't touch me. I wasn't worried about him taking me down. It's funny, I was reading all the comments before. Everybody was like, he's going to take him down, submit. I'm like, how? Like, I'm a really good wrestler. Like, I'm not really worried about him taking me down. You know, it's going to come to on the feet or late. I can take him down and neutralize his jiu-jitsu and, you know, get the ground in town. But he was able to find a head kick, and I didn't defend it well. Just stupid way that I cover up, you know. Been working a lot on my technique on my feet, but it was just an inches game, you know. I blocked like I had a boxing glove on, and the kick cut right over the top. So, you know, I just kicking myself, and then like, hey, I just got to get back in the gym and not let those things happen, and make sure that I'm sharp enough. And if I can't, there's no excuse. But if I'm not able to train, then I don't need to be, you know, fighting. You know, I wasn't sharp. I wasn't sharp at all. Just, you know, wasn't sharp.
Damn, I appreciate the honesty. Pretty raw.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Derek, since Bisping has elected not to take the matchup, who would you like to fight going forward if you had to the opportunity to choose an opponent or someone that makes sense, I guess?
It's funny. I don't know. I have no. I mean, I'm not in title contention right now. You know, this win, a win over Jacare would have put me in title contention. I would have been right there. You know, I'm not. You know, but I know what I can do. I mean, if anybody want to sit here and act like I'm not one of the top guys, or act like, if you don't watch the Yoel fight, if you don't watch the Anderson fight, if you don't watch any fight minus I got caught by Jacare. You know, he landed a head kick. I can't take it away from him. But you know, if you don't feel, sometimes I get a little overzealous in fights. You know, so that's some of the things that I'm working on. But if I don't have this, if people think I don't have the skill set to compete with the top guys in the world, it's just crazy. Like Whitaker, in our fight, I went straight after this kid. I was kind of like, okay, I'm going to set the record for most first round knockouts right here in a row. You know, I was steamrolling people, so I'm like, I want to get him out of here. You know, I really didn't think of him as a guy that really posed much of a threat, but he proven himself that he is. You know, so you can't approach fights like that. When you go and try to run people over, then you're going to get the shit end of the deal, and then you have to deal with the consequences. But I mean, I was seconds away from knocking him out. I mean,
yeah,
you know, I was putting him on his chin. He was breathing hard. I mean, and the only thing why I kept going in the fight is because I had him against the cage, and he sounded like he was about to like pass out. He was breathing so heavy, and I'm just like, keep punching. He's going to quit. But the kid is resilient. He doesn't quit. So you know, you have to prepare for. He's a fighter, and I mean, I respect him for that. Like, he didn't give up in the fight, but I know where my skills at. I know on the feet, whenever he threw his first couple combos, he couldn't reach me. Just like Jacare, he couldn't really reach me. I just have to get better in the gym and take my time and show everybody that, you know, that I can win those big fights. And I got to work back up to the big fight. So I'm going to sit back. Everybody's pretty much paired. So whoever they offer me, you know, talk to my agent, and we'll go from there. But just going to fight whoever they give me next. Go in there, and we're going to have a good fight and just work my way back into title contention.
Mm-hmm. And then the last thing I wanted to ask you was, you at one time were a member of Jackson Wink. I'm sure you're welcome there. I don't remember hearing of any bad breakup or anything. But you've moved things, you know, back east, family reasons, and you're very comfortable with your new team. But would you ever go back to Jackson Wink if you want to, you know, switch things up or get a good look? Or, you know, you also enjoyed success with them, too. Sometimes fighters, you know, have a certain way of thinking in terms of, you know, where their successes are. They return with certain coaches or training partners. Have you thought about that?
You know what? Honestly, probably the worst one of the hindrances to my career is not being a selfish person. Like, so I have my daughters. My daughters live with me full time. Mm-hmm. So before they didn't, they lived with their mom, and I would get them, you know, periodically. But their mom was, you know, wasn't being responsible, you know, they was missing school, you know, so I had to take over that role. So now my girls live with me. I have to, you know, check homework. I have to get them ready for school. You know, my girlfriend helps out with that also. So it takes away my time that I can travel. If I was a selfish dude, then, you know, for sure, I love that camp. You know, I love training with Greg. So now it's like I had to rework my camps and figure out a better way to do things, or a situation that could work. And I've been going out to Atlanta and working with this kickboxing coach who's better for my striking, because I need to work on really taking my time, being patient. I have a huge skill set, but sometimes I don't take my time. So I got with this guy, and we've been really working, and that was a good situation for me. It's just like you got to just keep working. But I would love to be able to go out to Jackson's, but sometimes the summers would be great. You know, maybe try to work it in. You know, where I have a fight in the summer, go out there and do a camp. But it's just tough now that I have my daughters full time, because sports as an athlete, it's going to eventually fade away. But my kids, I got to make sure they get the right foundation, and I'm there, you know. So, I mean, if I was a little bit more selfish, then maybe, you know, I'd probably be out west for 4 to 6 weeks. But it's just kind of tough to leave, and, you know, I'm there means to, you know, get to school, making sure everything's straight. So
totally understand, and commendable for sure. Oh, hey, you know what? Just because I'm curious, you help out the kids with the homework. What's the one subject that if they come to you, hey, Derek Brunson's got this? Is there a specific subject that you excelled at, you know, in school, whether it was mathematics or science or English or anything that you are proud of, I guess?
I'm a math whiz, man. I got the numbers. It's funny. I just found this app someone shared with me. You take a picture of the homework, and it gives you the answer to it. So it's like a math app. Any math problem, like,
what's the name of the app?
It gives you an answer. Yeah, You're like a genius. You don't even have to do it anymore. It's called photo math. I hope kids are not listening to this. Photo math. You hold it up, you take the scan, and it gives you the answer. Yeah,
how quick do they return the answer?
No wonder why people are getting
like
dumber.
ASAP. Like ASAP.
I'm gonna download
like
it.
Wow. So if you're just at home struggling, you just take the picture and then that's it. So it's like having your own
it's the second
genius with you or something like that. Photo math.
Yeah,
Photo
math.
But aside from that, you get down when it comes to mathematics. How high did you take it? Were you like a trigonometry guy, a calculus guy, or?
Bro, I took calculus like in high school. Like, so I was like super advanced with the math. I got to college and I tried to take like the basic math, and it was like I tested out of it in high school, so I couldn't. So I kind of snuck around, and because my advisor was the chancellor. You know, I was one of the high recruits for wrestling, so for whatever reason I got stuck with the chancellor. So he was kind of like really busy with other stuff, so I actually got him to let me take like the basic math, and I just got a quick A. But yeah, math is my thing.
Write me a math.
Damn. All right. Brad, do you have a specific subject that you're good at?
Fighting.
Fighting?
Nope. yeah.
Goes PE? Was yours PE or
lunch was my specialty?
Oh yeah.
No, you know what?
Blank piece of paper. Let's try this.
I was a geography whiz. That was my thing. But I'm starting to forget now. When people go, like people used to go, "What's the capital of Bulgaria?" I'd go, "Oh, Sofia." But now there's certain things I just don't remember. But when I was a kid, man, I could get down with geography. How about you, Dan?
Yeah, I did my I'm half Asian, but I did not make that proud. I was not good at a lot of things. I was probably more of a lunch and recess guy, man. I just was not very academic.
Hey, Derek, one more thing. I know I keep saying that, but this is really the last one. So now that I kind of got a little bit of your style, you know, Twitter, you don't really involve yourself too much. It's just screaming back and forth or having fun. I don't know how you would categorize it, but tell me about that exchange with Colby Covington. You know, you hit him up, he hit you back. Were you laughing, or you got something in the chamber for him, you know, the next time around? Derek, you there? Danny, did we lose him?
He's still up. He's still connected, but I don't know if he's driving.
Hello? Oh, Derek, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello?
Okay. Did you hear my question, or you didn't like it, or?
Yeah, no, I heard your question. Hold on a second. I think I was like walking through something.
Okay.
You hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, nah, Kobe's funny because he's more of a gimmick. He's not really like serious. I can't take him serious. Like nobody can really believe that he's seriously that type of person, which is super corny. Like you should be yourself. So I like to every time he posts something, I like to call him out. So I kind of deserve what he was bringing back to me, but I'm definitely gonna if someone present themselves as trying to put on some gimmick or act or like saying Brazil's a dump. Like, come on, man. Do you really act like that? Like, how old are we? Kobe's like the guy who made it, who probably would have been a school shooter or something. Like, he just over with his tongue, man. For real. He's like the guy who wasn't a school shooter. Like, he's a straight, like, ruthless, rude person, you know? So, next time he come to me with something, I'm going to say, you know, something along those lines. Got something ready for him. But I actually think I'm done with him. I'm not going to give this guy any more media attention.
All right. Well, before we let you go, I do want to say that Goes downloaded the app. He already tried it, and he found out what 738 times 96 is. What goes in, what, half a second?
It worked.
Bro,
yeah,
wow.
It's insane.
That's like an amazing
this is
app.
a game changer, dude. Huge.
Bro, don't tell the kids, though. If the kids know this, oh, my God.
I know. I just was saying earlier that the humanity is getting dumber. This is just helping that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, Derek. Thanks for the time. I'm glad we were able to clear some things up. Rest in recovery, my man. And then, yeah, like you said, you're one of the baddest 85ers out there. So hopefully you get a good matchup in the summer or late summer. And can't wait to see it again. Hopefully we can talk to you again when that happens.
All right, thanks.
All right,
Derek.
We'll see you.
Hello.
All right, folks, that's Derek Brunson. And, boy, I thought he was going to be a little bit more vocal towards, you know, both guys I brought up, Bisping and Covington. But he seems like he's just having fun, you know.
Yeah.
So
others get really bitter.
No, in the I didn't want to mention this prior because, you know, it's not my place to be mentioning shit. But since he brought it up, he was really sick in the Jacare fight because I was getting ready to, if he didn't pull the trigger on it and say he was gonna fight, I was gonna step in. I think it was like a week's notice. It was shortly after the Vitor fight to fight Jacare.
So Brad Tavares is always on the on-deck circle then, huh?
Hey, I'm in shape, man.
I like it.
And if I was like, all right, cool. I mean, give me a week, I can make 85 for sure, and I think I could do 5 rounds with Jacare. So.
Interesting. I like that. Well, there you go. That's a tribute to you always being ready and shape, and you know, maybe one of these will hit. For now, you got Jocko ahead of you.
Yep.
But at least now the organization knows they can count on you. All right, we got to take this quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We can probably do a quick run of calls if you want to get in. 866-522-2846.
They pat down TSA agents because they don't know where those people have been, and because they can. They are Gorgeous George and Goes, and this is MMA Junkie Radio.
Big thank you to Ali and Dan for setting up the Derek Brunson interview. Also, the Curtis Millender interview, shout out to myself. I lined that one up. Marco from Waco is up next. What's up, Marco? How you doing?
Marco from Waco, ¿qué pasa, dudes?
¿Qué pasa?
Outstanding show today. Hey, you know, they always said there was just go by the cover. Mike Perry in the beginning, everybody shit on the guy because of, you know, some dubious quotes from his corner and you know, the tattoos on the face. But he's been doing the media rounds on the Helwani show, on the UFC, on the Disputed freaking podcast. And you listen to the guy, and he got a story to tell, man. And he's actually a smart cookie, dude. Smart guy that is turning his life around, and he's a freaking action fighter. I'm on the Mike Perry camp now, brother. So I'm picking him to win this weekend. Peace out.
All right, see you. You guys Mike Perry fans?
He's growing on me a little bit.
I like Mike Perry.
It's fun to watch fight.
Yeah. He is a trip.
Yeah.
It's almost like a white Diaz brother in a way, the way he talks and conducts himself and his way of thinking, but I kind of like it. And yeah, things started off rough, but you know, that was a couple years ago, and like I say, sometimes it just kind of gets buried.
Well, what happened?
His corner had some racist remarks, right? I think is what
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
They got caught by one of the mics, and when asked about it, I think he didn't give the type of answer I guess one would expect. You know,
I feel like everybody
you don't just
in
cut
America is racist. Just
I've
not
said
on
it. I've said
camera.
it as well. Well, it's just different levels. You
Yeah.
know, some can be a cute stereotype.
Yeah.
Oh, you're Brazilian. Well, they're always late. You know, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then others can take it a step further. I don't want a Brazilian in my house.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
There's different levels of it, but I think everyone has it, and everyone can pretend and be dumb like they don't. But I believe it exists.
Yeah.
What do I know? I've occupied this planet for 48 years, and I step out of the house. I mingle with people, so I've mingled with all types, and I just know that it's there, and that's fine. I don't think it's a bad thing, honestly. But anyway, Brad, I always ask you for a street fight story, so I'm definitely not going to ask you this time. Goes, you got anything left for Brad?
Yeah, you got a street fight story?
Nah.
Really? No.
Well, that didn't work, huh?
Nah, it didn't work.
I told you guys all of them already.
Yeah.
No, you said you got a lot.
I know, but I forget them.
You probably told us like
so
five
He
or
told us
four.
Blockbuster. He told us Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I remember the Blockbuster one.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the one with
The Ring.
Remember, you
Oh.
I don't have a story, and then afterwards he told us.
Oh
the
no, and
greatest-
then there's one where I think he calls an uncle or someone to meet at a field against a bunch of
Oh, I
guys.
told you guys that one.
You got any in Vegas? Spearmint Rhino.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear one.
Yeah.
Charlie, man.
So when I first moved out here, I won't mention the person's name. When I first moved out here, this is even before I even started training Echo Tours. When I first came out here, you know, I didn't really have, I wasn't like, I don't know, like fucking like really like in poverty or anything. But when I first came out here, I just was like being smart, you know, like I had a job, but it wasn't paying much. I had minimal hours. I was trying to train. So I was just trying to save money, and also like my first whole month of being out here, it just consisted of training, going home and playing video games, training video games, and then finally my roommates at the time were like, "Come on, let's go do something, this and that, whatever, blah blah blah." And I was like, all right. So there was a concert, and I love going to like local, you know, like reggae concerts, and then So what happened was I was like, nah, you know, like I don't want to spend money, blah blah blah, you know, just whatever. And then so my roommate was like, too bad, I bought you a ticket, so you gotta go now. If not, you're gonna waste a ticket. I was like, oh, okay. So boom, we go to this concert, bunch of local people there. So I run into this guy, and then he's like, he actually trained at Coutures at the time. He's from Hawaii too. And then he was like, I don't know, I just caught his vibe, and I just knew, like, you know, like he's kind of like a punchy guy, probably drinking, whatever. So he's like, asking me if I fight and stuff, and I was like, oh no, I don't fight. I just chill. Like I was like, just gonna be, and this is rare for me. Like I usually deal with these guys in a different way, but I was like, you know what, I'm not trying to get in trouble. I just got out here, whatever. So I was like, I was just trying to avoid everything. Like I don't want to. Oh, if I say I'm a fighter, then he's gonna start talking about fighting, blah 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 blah. No. No, I love that guy.
No?
No. But so anyway, yeah, so he keeps going about stuff, and I'm like, no, just trying to avoid everything.
Do you mind if I step in here for a second? The music means we're getting ready to end, but we can do a quick overtime of like 2-3 minutes to finish the story. Is that cool with you?
That's fine.
Good on time?
Yeah.
All right, so folks, thank you again to Curtis Millander and Derek Brunson for their time. Of course, Brad Tavares as well. Tavares will be fighting Krzysztof Jotko on April 14th at UFC on Fox 29. So it'll be on Big Fox, and it's a big fight for him. Tomorrow, Dave LaGreca from Busted Open will join us on the show, and I'm sure we'll have another guest or two. So, SiriusXM audience, if you missed any part of the show, catch it on the app, commercial-free, HD quality. And, of course, there's replays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The rest of you hang tight for about 10 seconds. We'll be right back. We'll do some overtime. We'll finish the street fight story.
Fever, Las Vegas turning day into nighttime, turning night into daytime. If you see it once, you'll never be the same again. I'm gonna keep on the run, I'm gonna have me some fun. If it costs me my very last dime, if I wind up broke, well, I'll always remember that I had a swing in time.
You guys clear for overtime?
All right, so you guys are at the concert?
Yeah, so we're at the concert. This guy approaches me.
And he's a fellow fighter, right? Or just involved in MMA? Or
I think he was a boxer.
Okay.
I don't know if he has MMA fights, but he's from Hawaii.
Okay.
And so I just got out here, so it's not, like, this is pre-UFC.
Oh, okay.
So not, like, too well-known. Some people know me. But new guy on the scene, I guess. And then at that time, too, I was training at Tap Out, and Tap Out was like, the gym Tap Out was, like, co-promoting this concert. And so prior to that, they had me like come on stage, like introduce me, like, hey, this is one of our up and coming, blah blah. So this guy seen that, and then so like now he knows, like, like I'm telling him, no, I don't fight, and he's like, what the fuck? I just seen you are a fighter, blah blah. And I was like, nah, I don't fight. Like, just going down that line. I just chill, because I could feel his vibe, and I know how like people can get. So then he starts talking about who at the time another friend of mine who was like helping train me, like holding mitts and stuff. This is, like I said, when I first got here, so before I even met Ray and was working with Ray. So, and then I was like, okay, bro, like now you crossing the line, like now you talking shit about one of my friends, like that I'm not gonna stand for. So then I was like, I told him, I was like, oh, you know what, bro, you like, we go outside, we go check out my truck. And he was like, huh? And I was like, yeah, we go outside, we go look at my truck, come on, we go look at my truck. And then he knew exactly what I was getting at, like telling him, like, bro, like I had enough. Let's go outside. We're gonna fight. Mm-hmm. And then so he tried to change his tone. He was like, oh no, we local boys, we gotta stick together, this and that. We gotta fight these other guys out there, the Howleys, this and that, whatever. And I was like, bro, it doesn't matter, because if it was back home, this would happen anyway. So I was like, let's just go. So then I was going.
And this had to do because he attacked your mitt coach, right? Or
no, just because he was being fucking annoying and talking shit. And
so now you want to teach him a lesson a little bit?
Yeah, so I was like, I just got over it. I knew, like, I was like, okay, like, you talking punchy, like, fight, so okay, now I'll oblige you, let's fight. And then so we're walking out, and then one of my friends, my roommate at the time, sees me, and he's like, oh, where are you going? I was like, nothing, I was gonna go talk to this guy real quick. And then he's like, oh, I come in with you. And then this guy, like, his friend sees us walking out. So now there's 4 of us. And then my girl roommate wants to, like, tag along. I'm like, no, fucking you just stay over here. She's like, no. So she wants to come.
Well, someone's got to YouTube it, though, right?
I wish. This is fucking, I mean, I'm sure it's on camera somewhere. This happened at Town Square.
Oh shit. Oh, yeah. Probably at that Cadillac or...
No, Blue Martini.
Yeah. Shit goes down. Okay.
So we're going out, and I'm already getting fucking heated. So when you walk out of there, and then now where it used to be Cadillac Ranch is McFadden's right now, yeah. And then there's an elevator right over there to go down. So I'm like, oh fuck, come over here, and then like let's go in this elevator, and then so when I close the elevator door, when I turn around, he is like standing with his hand clenched, and I was like, oh. So I turned around, I was laughing. I was like, oh, what? You hit me? You hit me? And then I was like, go right ahead. And I pushed him. And then his friend fucking hit me. And I don't know if it's just, I mean, I'm sure it's because it's dry, but I feel like he had like a ring on or something, because he cracked me right there. and just a cut opened up, and I was like, fucking all hell just broke loose right there. So now,
did you have your homie in the elevator too?
Yeah. So
all four of you?
Yes.
Oh shit.
So we're in an
Did it
elevator.
say Unity on your forehead?
Huh?
Did it say Unity on your forehead?
Unity.
Just had a fucking cut.
This overtime's worth it right
So-
here. And
so-
how close did we just go? Oh, you ain't got a Street Fight Star? All right, well that's the end. See you tomorrow, everybody. I'm glad we pushed. Continue.
No, so then it just turns into a brawl, and I'm fucking leaking now. And then now, I don't know what happened, but I'm holding this guy like schoolyard style. Like I have his head like almost like guillotine. His body is right there, and I'm just holding him there. And I don't know what he's doing. And like I said, I think he was a boxer, so he probably, I don't know, maybe he didn't know how to fucking get out of this.
The other two are mixing it up too?
Yeah, the other two, my other friend, and I'm pissed. I'm like, bro, this guy made me bleed my own blood. Like I'm trying to fucking kill him. So like I'm fucking like trying to hit him too while my friend is, and like mind you, we're in an elevator, and then so they somebody had been drinking. There was a fucking Heineken bottle in there. So I'm like telling my roommate, the girl, I'm like, give me that bottle, but I'm holding on to this guy. So I kind of like let him go to grab the bottle.
Well, he's got terrible guillotine defense.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, give me. I'm not even choking him. I'm just holding him. He might even be like trying to take me down. I don't even know.
Okay.
But it's going on, and then so she's like crying. She's like hysterical. She's like, no. But then I'm like, give me the fucking bottle. So she gives me the fucking bottle, and I'm like fucking looking like, because my friend is fighting with a guy. When I go to pick up when she goes to give me the bottle, I drop it, and the fucking neck breaks off. So I'm like, fuck it, give me it. And I look for a guy, I fucking smash it right on him. In my own hand, probably did more damage to me, cut my own hand. I was like, fuck, I just was pissed. I was like, bro, I'm fucking leaking. Mind you, the whole time we're on the bottom now, and the fucking elevator doors is probably just opening and closing. And I think now it's going like, bing. So then finally we come out of the elevator.
Brad, you're not punking us, right? This is true?
No, I swear to God.
Okay, all right.
We start fighting. Johnny Nunez was there with me.
All right. Did he do that once to us before? That's why I'm asking.
No, it was Ulysses.
Oh, it was Ulysses. That's right. He's famous for that. All right.
Yeah.
I'm loving this.
And
Keep fucking going.
Yeah, so then fucking right there, the town square. Is that what it's called? Town square?
Yeah.
Yeah, town square. Their security rolls up, and they're just like, holy shit, what is going on here? And I'm fucking just bleeding, so like it looks crazy. And then like they're trying to break us up, and I'm like, I'm just fucking pissed. I'm like telling them like, don't, like, get the fuck off of me. And then so Johnny calms me down. Johnny's like, bro, let's get the fuck out of here.
Johnny was the other homie?
No.
Oh, he just happened to be on the scene or whatever?
He was there at the concert, and we've been fighting for so much that it probably like made a ruckus. And
okay.
Then people are like looking for us, and you know. So this is right. That elevator is right across Yard House.
Yeah. It's right underneath the movies.
Yeah. And yeah. So then finally calmed down, and Johnny's like, bro, let's go. I'll take you home. And I was like, okay. So we go home, and then at the time, like I had just come out here a month ago, and my job now I don't have medical, so I was like, fuck, like my fucking head is cut. So I was like, fuck it, I'll super glue it together. So I go home, I try to like clean it a little bit. I fucking just fucking slab on super glue. This cut is so big, like it won't hold. The blood is dripping through it. So my roommate was like, fuck this, let's just go. I'll take you. I don't care. Like I'll pay for it if that's what
the guy
needs to be
that
done.
bought you the ticket?
Not a girl. Yeah, and then yeah. So I used to live with me, my friend, and these two girls. We all used to live together. Just rent a room in a house when I first moved out here. But yeah. So that's that story.
Wow. Now that's a 99 out of 100. You know what it would take for me to give it a 100?
What's that?
I'll give you both a guess.
Somebody die?
No.
Did he lick his own blood?
Well, you're getting there, but
Dan?
A police vehicle.
No, if in the elevator he would have wrote "touchable" in blood.
Oh, so good.
That's
so
from
good.
the Untouchables in
right.
the 1980s.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
That was good stuff, Brad. And you know what? Just because we kept you a couple minutes, just please tell me about your daughter. It seems like it really has changed you. You know, we started off the show with you talking about you want to race home, but how is that life being a dad? How much are you enjoying it?
Oh, I love it. I mean, it's definitely sometimes challenging as far as getting through a fight camp. And then also my girl just went back to work, and she works over at Hakkasan. So she leaves the house at like 8:30 p.m. gets home at like 5 a.m. So that whole time is just me and my baby, and she wakes up in that period roughly at least 2 times, and then depending on what time my girl gets home, like a lot of times she'll still be sleeping. Then when my girl gets home, she'll wake up right there. So I gotta at least wake up those 2 times.
But you don't like that, right?
Huh?
Aren't you the guy that doesn't like to be woken up or something like that?
Oh, but for my daughter, I do anything.
Yeah.
I just was telling somebody yesterday, like, I'm super, like, impatient. I get frustrated fast. But then when it comes to her, like, I don't know.
What's her name?
Zaya Lee.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's great, you know, like, it's challenging. But, I mean, we're making it work. And then hopefully soon her mom will be able to come up and stay with us, and that will help us out big time. Because right now, like, there's days where my girlfriend is just, like, exhausted because she's trying to sacrifice.
Oh, you mean your girlfriend's mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my mother.
I thought, okay, was it a surrogate situation?
No,
she had a mother. Okay, okay, I got you.
Yeah, and then I'm sorry. Yeah, and then but yeah, that'll help out big time because my girlfriend she's freaking awesome. She knows that I'm in fight camp and what it takes, so she'll like wake up so that I don't need to, so I can get rest to go train and stuff, and she'll be dead ass tired. But yeah.
Well, congratulations to both of you.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks for chilling with us. I hope you have a safe camp leading up to this big fight versus Krzysztof Jotko. 11-4 in the UFC is amazing. 16-4 overall. Just like Derek Brunson said, you know, you guys are up there, man. Hopefully 2018 is one of those years where you're, you know, mixing it up with all these other names that are at the top. Maybe a title shot.
Hopefully.
You know, if you would have taken my deal, you could have took the whole family out for a meal, any restaurant you want, whenever you feel like it.
So if you...
What deal's that? Oh, is this a private what if?
I just told him you have to take 2 inches off your dick, but every restaurant you go to for the rest of your life,
it's
bill's
free.
paid. He wouldn't do it.
That's not worth it. Fuck no. I told him my dick
It
is
doesn't
small
matter
enough.
It doesn't matter how many people are with him.
Yeah,
you can just
like,
go, it's on me. Like that.
Cap it like at 8 people, you know. But if he wants to go to Texas Papers every night, it's good.
Yeah, every inch is valuable, man. All right, we are out of here, folks. Again, tomorrow, Dave LaGreca from Busted Open will join us. We'll stuff probably another fighter or two, so join us then. Thank you for watching. We'll see you all tomorrow. For Brad, Danny, Dan, and Goes, I'm George. Have a nice day. Be
Aloha.
champions.